Well, I'm Matthew Brown.
And I'm Steve Gillitzer.
And on November 5th, 2017, we had a house fire. That started in the one bedroom of our house and pretty much destroyed the whole upper part of our house. It also caused us to lose one of our beloved pets. One of our dogs passed away. One of them survived and one of them passed away. We weren't home at the time, and it was devastating. Nothing in our family have ever happened like that to any of us. So for something like that to happen and you don't know what to do next, it was hard.
To walk into your home and see, everything that you gathered through your entire life pretty much destroyed. It's something that you're never prepared for.
Thankfully, the people at Emergency Fire and Water Restoration were very nice, very kind, and from day one, we're great to work with. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know who to go with. We didn't know who to turn to. Like I said, nobody in our family had ever had anything like this happen. So when something like this does happen, you don't know where to turn. And they were great. I remember getting a care package from Penelope a couple days after it was for the loss of our dog, and that made it really sweet and very touching because it puts a personal touch on things that you don't expect. And then from there it was, what do we do next? And they guided us all the way through it. It took a while, and then back to it happened in November. It was cold out, and it was not the best weather, so it took a little bit to start the process of things, but in each step of the process, we'd ask them questions, and then they told us what we needed to do next.
What we had to pick out, when it had to be done by. I mean, that was kind of overwhelming, just the list of things that we had to choose, and but like you said, every step of the way there was someone there to help us and kind of guide us through and point us in the right direction.
The kitchen is for me because that's what I spent the most time on, making sure to pick out things for. With the cabinetry and the drawers that pull out all the way, with the big sink, the deep sink, the one sink, and the appliances. I mean, that was my area, my thing. But also just like the living room and our new bed, we moved the bedroom to a different room now, and it just all fits together so nicely that it felt like a home before, and something drastic and devastating like that happens, coming back to it, I love it even more. It feels even so much more like our personal touch to it now.
Yeah.
Because we've had to choose every single thing that's in here, and it all was put together.
Before it was just a package deal. We bought the house as is, and now we got to kind of pick, how we wanted it to be. And we're lucky that we had, help from Emergency Fire and Water to make the right choices, and that everything came together in a way that we think looks great.
First, it was just like a contact, and then when we had the project manager, that felt like it was more complete too. Mm-hmm. They were able to give us even more detail because she had experience. Like, we were just going to choose lights that were, like the lights that we had before, but she kind of gave us an idea, like, why don't you do 4 cams in the kitchen, 4 recessed lights in the kitchen. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Someone with experience in kind of building homes and rebuilding homes could say, like, oh, you know what, this is what I've done in other places and it worked out really well. You might want to consider that. And all the suggestions turned out really well.
That stuff is really helpful when redoing something like that, because you may not think about it, but having to do it afterwards when we can do it from the beginning or from the get-go right away is great.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of personal touches throughout the way. Like the project manager, we really felt like she cared. I would just say we're really happy with our choice of Emergency Fire and Water. That it's a really hard in that moment a decision of who do you choose, where do you go.
We chose somebody else to begin with there, but I'm glad somebody, that a neighbor, was able to say, hey, I chose that other company like you just did first. And we were on the fence with who to pick too, and once that was said, we're glad we went with you guys.